was great, and then it fell off. Whereas Lord of the Rings first season was rubbish, and then it got better.
Oh,
Is that what they're saying?
That's what
that's what
I heard. I don't know if any of that's true.
So I'm just starting season 2 of House of the Dragon, which I'm into so far. I have yet to watch any of season 2 of The Rings of Power because I'm just the lore
disappointed
decisions. It's like no, I have yet to watch any of season 2 of The Rings of Power because I'm just would not happen, or like the lore blatantly wrong. It's like blatantly wrong. No, I have yet to watch any of season 2 of The Rings of Power because myself would not happen, or like the lore just go watch blatantly wrong. You pretend you've not read the book. Blatantly wrong. No, I have yet to watch.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed watching the seasons of Picard, even though some of the writing was atrocious. But I just enjoyed it for the nostalgia factor.
I'm just gonna let you guys talk for a second because I want to make sure.
I enjoyed watching the
our volumes are. It sounded like I was way louder than everybody else.
So. I just enjoyed it for the nostalgia factor. I mean, if you want me to, I can.
No, I've already gotten your voices. I want to.
Yammer on. I enjoyed watching
our volumes are. It sounded like I was way louder than everybody else.
I just enjoyed it for the nostalgia factor.
Everything's so echoey. Why is everything so echoey?
I found 100.
That's awful.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's so echoey. I hate that.
Yay! Dealing with.
How do I stop all that terrible echo? Oh God.
I just found 147 gigs worth of
space
on my computer.
Good job.
Downloading cache.
All right, whatever.
Or
That's what it is.
Deleting cache.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back, Skexy Suckers, to another episode of Emrae, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign in a world of my own design. In our last episode, which has been lost to the ether because I have a terrible habit of forgetting to upload videos to YouTube after we complete our sessions, the party finally dispatched the Time Lord, a extraplanar being not caught, but existing outside of the normal flow of time that was tasked with fixing the timeline and removing those with the scent of wrong time from the timeline that the party had found themselves in. If you
Speaking of that party, it should be introduce us.
If you recall, we are gathered as usual with our good friends Bartholomew, a.k.a. Jeff, our human chronomancer, Jindorum Jin Draprax, a.k.a. Zach, our dragonborn sorcerer, and Wallace, the Wall Stoneguard, a.k.a. Mike, our human fighter sork. As I was mentioning, they dispatched the Time Lord in a very anticlimactic fight where they just kind of stun-locked it to death and surrounded it because I had given them way too much power in their NPCs, which I have now stripped away from them because the NPCs were not of a different timeline, so they did not get somehow magically transported upon the death of the Time Lord into what, to the party, is a mysterious vision of a scene that they've never seen before. For a moment,
the scene you described reminded me of like the Jack Sparrow being dead. I think.
For a moment.
Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
For a moment or an eternity, it's hard to tell when you're outside of time. The party found themselves in blinding eternal white light, where as they spoke, they heard reverse echoes of their sentences in their heads and aloud before they actually heard it, which was an interesting effect that the fighter tried to play with for a bit. And then as reality materialized back into their vision, they found themselves at a cliffhanger. And that cliffhanger ends today, as the party looks around and notices that surrounding them is a strange expanse of... not expanse, that's the wrong word. A strange colored sandy terrain with rocky cliffs behind them and a dune hilly swept sandy purplish hue terrain sprawling in front of them. Goodbye, Zach. Goodbye forever. It was a pleasure playing with you. We love you. We wish you the best.
Sad panda.
Jindorum materialized 17 feet under the earth and has sand in his lungs and is dead.
No! Oh, the frames! The frames!
Yeah, the frames look terrible. I still look great. I don't know about the rest of y'all because I'm still in the upright. Me and Jeff, we're good. You and Zach are all flubbed up. Yeah, you'd have to move like all the way to the right. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, stay there until Zach comes back. So anyway, we will wait for Zach because I'm describing things.
What's the word? It's not extrapolating. What's the word? No. Extemporizing? No, that's not it either. There's a fancier word than explain, and I can't think of.
Explicate.
That doesn't sound right either.
Expedite, expurgate, expound, excommunicate.
Expounding? Yeah, expounding. I guess that works.
Expounding is just like explaining in greater detail.
Yeah.
That's what explicate means.
Fair. I don't think I knew the word explicate, and I'm learning things.
Sidebar. There was a fun little post on social media. Somebody said, "My wife just used mansplaining wrong, and I don't know what to do about it."
I saw one the other day that's like, "I'll stop mansplaining when you start woman understanding."
Okay. And we're canceled. Okay,
sorry about that,
guys. There goes our sponsorship.
Demonetized.
Whatever. You can keep the $0. So anyway, Jen, we paused when you disconnected, so you haven't missed anything. You're in this weird purple haze atmosphere. The sky above you is like violet and dusk colored, but it's cold, and the sand has a weird glisten to it at your feet, and there's a rocky outcropping that you're kind of in betwixt. The cliffs around you are roughly 10 feet up, and again, to the south is kind of more open. Strange foreign stalagmites seem to be jutting out, though you're not in a cave system. And then behind you, the bright white light is still visible through what looks like a hole outside of physical space, where it's like there's no depth. It doesn't follow the face of the rock. It's just this flat white hole into the beyond. And as you are watching it, as the world materializes around you, that white light is fading out of view slowly. And I will bring you all Wallace, Bart, Jim.
Point of order, we have not long rested, right? So same hit points, spell slots.
That is accurate.
What does it smell like?
That is a great question. It smells like so if putting perfume in your nose is 100% saturation and having a clothespin on your nose is 0% saturation, it smells like 10% saturation every scent of every scented candle you've ever smelled at the same time.
So we just walked into a Sephora or a Yankee Candle.
Abercrombie.
It's super faint, but if you focus, you can kind of pick out any scent of fragrance that you've ever experienced in conjunction with all the others at the same time.
So Axe body spray is included in that.
Well, that your characters have experienced.
You made it canon.
Phoenix
Wallace is just perplexed, like, is that bacon? What?
Yeah, all the bacon scented candles in Uralaba.
Is there an ocean full of beads?
The only place
funny
you
should
find
ask
those
that
actively
question,
being
Zach.
used is a diner.
I'm gonna use Zach's out of character reference question as an in character perception attempt, and as you bend down to inspect the sand, it doesn't look like beach sand or granules of rock. It looks like teeny tiny, itty bitty, spherical glass beads, the size of like, I don't know,
a grain of sand.
No, it's slightly larger than a grain of sand.
Okay.
But not as big as like the filling of a hacky sack.
I run my hands through the sand. Do I get any impressions?
As you... Oh, I have a thing for this, actually. I have an answer to this, and I have to pull it up real quick. And gotta go to the table of contents. So, as you sift your hands through the sand and let it fall through your fingers, you notice that they are not entirely uniform, the small beads. They're all super tiny, but occasionally one is a little bit larger, about the size of a pea. And as you're inspecting it and you hold that one the size of the pea in your hand and focus on it, what you see is your hand holding the bead and everything around you, and then a ghosted image overlaid on top of that. You're seeing as if looking into a snow globe, sort of a spherical warped image of a small boy and his father spearfishing.
Just from the pea-sized ones, not from the smaller ones as well.
Not from the smaller ones.
I hand that bead to my companions to pass around.
While still holding it in your hand, the moment you stop focusing in on it, the image leaves your vision, and you now see Jin stretching a small bead of glass towards you.
Wallace takes it. What do you got there? What do you got there, big guy? And I look at it.
Hold this.
Wait, so if I focus on it, like an image just appears in front of me, or the image is in the bead?
It's in your head. You're
Oh,
seeing
it's in your
it,
mind's eye.
but what you see is like a spherically warped image, as if you're looking through a crystal ball, like you're a fortune teller, but it's just in your entire field of vision.
And I see the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As that happens, Wallace just sort of drops it, like, all right, what? That was odd. Why did I just see a bunch of people fishing? Hold on. So Wallace goes down and like grabs more sand.
So you notice the sand is not sand, but it is these tiny little glass beads.
Grab one, pea-sized
I'm looking
one.
around for
bring
the
it up,
big ones
look at
too.
it.
So there are not a lot of them. Like, as you grab a big scoop of mountain of sand and let it all fall through your fingers, you find one or two.
Okay.
Evenly dispersed.
I mean, you're in a very small spot, but one would surmise they're roughly evenly distributed. You had a question, Jeff?
I'm going to do the same thing and quietly chuckle to myself about Anakin's discourse on sand with Padme.
Jeff, did you take a moment at any point to peruse the link I sent you? Remember, once upon a time, I said that Bartholomew would have more information, and you should read these things. Like 3 weeks ago.
It would have been a private message.
Yeah. I think I texted you.
So the answer to that's no.
Okay, yeah, clearly you didn't, but that's okay. I will message you directly in Discord so that you can access it from your PC.
Oh, yeah, you sent that to me when I was in the middle of a work stretch. No.
Yeah, all good. You can just pull it up now for reference.
Thank you.
And then I will message you in game. And with that, I'm going to keep my headphones on so I can hear you guys and run to the restroom, and the party can now discuss. But you won't be able to hear me because my microphone's here.
All right. So we've been through a lot of weird things. At least Sparkles and I certainly have. Yeah, Stewie. But yeah, this is new.
This is interesting. Do we recognize any of these people?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I mean, I don't know if that's bones or if that's just sand over there. Looking at the miniature glass beads we got going on, I'm definitely
Yes, I'd be like kind of just
perplexed.
digging through.
Oh my.
You got any insights there, Stewie?
I do, but I want to double check with Jim that I know these things that he says I do.
Oops.
Ignore the bones on the map.
Ignore the bones of the map,
Borrowed map. Jeff, you can
Very
ask your
good.
questions.
So these key locations and inhabitants and appearance, that is all privy. That's something I'm privy to.
You would know the names of the key locations and the blurbs that are listed. The details of the inhabitants you are aware of by name. But you probably don't have all those details, but you're familiar with if somebody mentioned those stories, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I heard that once in one of my meetings."
Okay.
So Jeff will have to suspend a little bit of his knowledge to play it correctly, but most of that you are at least familiar with as a concept.
Places, yes. Inhabitants in passing.
Places, yes. Inhabitants in passing, and then obviously like the detailed history of the plane itself. You know through mythology, not necessarily fact.
I try to toss one of the smaller beads of glass just up in the air.
The moment you're not in contact with it. Go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead, Jim.
I was gonna say the moment you're not in contact with it, the vision leaves your eyes. And Jeff, please proceed.
You see me make a horrified face, and I do my damnedest to. Here we go. A lot of open windows. I do my damnedest to pluck it out of the air as gracefully as I can.
Oh no, not one of the ones that has like a vision in it, like the tiny one.
Oh, the teeny tiny ones they're slightly larger than a grain of sand. You can't really like just. I mean, you could technically grab a tiny little bead and toss it in the air.
No, I thought he was throwing a vision one.
No. I'm telling a tiny one. I'm testing gravity.
Ah, gotcha. Gravity seems nominal.
Okay. It's like, think. Like, all right. Is there any wind?
Not that you are noticing at the moment.
How many suns are in the sky? I would know that though.
I mean, it's all a fair question for the rest of us.
Yeah. I'm just making sure we're not on Tatooine, even though the DM sent me this.
We're not on Tatooine. You don't see a sun in the sky. Remember, the sky is dusky,
like
dark,
gray,
blue, violet, hazy. Not hazy, but like it's a weird color. It's not a color
but it's
of
still
night
the predominant light source. Are there shadows on the ground of any kind?
No, like there isn't a beacon of light in the sky that you can see at the moment. There isn't like a ball of light somewhere shining like a moon or anything.
So it's just a soft, diffuse light from the
soft, diffuse light from the haze that doesn't seem to be shining necessarily from up down on you. It just kind of is.
So now that I've collected my bearings, also Jim, I keep getting this insecure download blocked from your page.
From my page?
Yes.
What page? The Google Doc?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know why it would do that. It's just a Google Doc.
Maybe it's not sure of itself.
Okay, so just to make sure I don't narrate something that we already know, do we just step through this portal knowing what we were going to? So
You
like
didn't.
we know we're in the.
No, we had no idea
No?
what we were doing.
You didn't really step through
Okay.
the portal. You just kind of
kinda happened.
appeared here. And you, Bartholomew, are the only one with any semblance of understanding of where you might be.
This is. I look at my pocket watch of power.
You look at your pocket watch of power, which seems to be swelled, which is a weird word, but the most accurate adjective. Almost like when you have an iPhone whose battery is like dying and it's like buckling. Your pocket watch seems less hollow inside. It seems heavier and denser. If you like shake it, you don't hear rattling like you're used to hearing.
Fellas, I
Wallace is busy using
believe-
prestidigitation to like blow sand around on the ground just to make sure magic works.
Yeah, magic seems to be working normal.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick up one of those larger nodules.
So you kind of have to sift through to find one. They're not instantly
fine.
visible here and there. But
And then I'm gonna hold it up to my. I have a magnifying glass, so I would like to see if that helps me get a better image of what's inside this thing. Since I haven't idea what that image is.
So as you pick it up and you start focusing on it, even before you bring the magnifying glass to it, the act of investigating it fills your vision again with that spherical warp, your whole eyesight, and you're seeing an image of a brown bearded man in animal furs wielding a gnarled piece of wood with obsidian shards hammered into it like a makeshift axe, riding a long-toothed bear, larger than a bear you've seen before, charging headlong at rows of orcs, snarling and drooling and like charging into battle. You're like witnessing this image from his perspective.
This wouldn't help me to communicate what I'm seeing any better. Like, it doesn't actually create the image of what I'm seeing in with my companions.
Telepathic link among the 8 willing creatures, physically linking each creature to all others. Creatures with intelligence scores 2 or less are effective. Philosophic targets can communicate telepathically to their bond. You can just communicate telepathically, so it's communication. You basically have you have a walkie-talkie within your bud.
Okay.
I mean, prestidigitation lets you make a illusionary image that can fit in your hand.
Right. Well, I'm going to attempt to use minor illusion to snapshot some of that vignette and recreate it like a still image, a screen capture of the scene that I see playing out.
Sure. Yeah,
my companions.
That's pretty easy for you to do, and you do so.
Okay.
Is that what you're looking at in the bead there, Stewie?
Is, and if my time at the university has served me in any form, it's right now. Gentlemen, I believe we have shifted to the temporal plane. This where we stand, these are the sands of eternity. The actual sands. And each grain that we stand on and see around us represents a moment in history. And we can witness events long ago in the past or those that have not yet come about.
Wait.
Cool.
All
How'd
of
that
them?
help us?
All of them?
Everyone!
What a great question, Mike. I love the way you phrased that. Wait, all of them? Where's the beat of my birthday?
That's the embarrassing ones I don't want people to look at, but like, wait, all the tiny ones too? Seems rather, I don't know, irresponsible for them
Jin
to
is
just be
Jim
kind of
sweating.
like.
I don't know if you guys would get this, but that's what I was going for with my answer.
Everyone, yeah, Gary Oldman. That's very common meme.
Well, meme, yes. Not everyone's seen the movie. Okay. Yes, Dear Wallace. I don't know why I'm calling you dear. I'm just so
You're
overwhelmed.
so overwhelmed.
Dewey, it's all right. You can show me
Your
respect.
whole-
It's fine. I'm
your
just a little
whole, like-
confused that this is all everything that has and ever will
looking
happen.
for the grain of sand
Your whole
that
tough guy,
shows where
mysterious
Wallace got the
facade
idea
is
to start
like-
calling me Stewie, and I want to destroy it. I want it
okay.
dead.
Bartholomew starts feverishly sifting through the sand. Oh, bye, Zach.
Gosh darn it!
At least you didn't mess up the
Oh, yeah.
frames. Oh, he just turned his
Oh,
camera
yeah.
off.
No, I shouldn't have. Why did that happen?
I don't know.
That wasn't supposed to happen. What is going on?
All right, Wallace begins meandering south. Go ahead.
Wait, so like, are the tiny ones like insignificant events, and the bigger ones are more important events? Is that what we're getting at here? Is that the thought process?
That is a plausible assertion, but I then pick up one of the tiny ones. Does anything register the way that the larger one did?
What are you doing with it?
Whatever I did before with
Focused
the
on
larger
it.
one. Focused on it, yeah.
You're holding a single teeny tiny bead in your hand. You're going to bring your magnifying glass to it. You're focusing on it, but your vision doesn't change in any way.
Well, perhaps we lack the means to focus on these smaller nodules. Maybe those are events of lesser consequence. Who knows? Time is trippy.
Wait, what happens as he slips? Like,
Whoa.
Oh, we lost him.
Time wizard that gets to the temporal plane and all these places that he studied about. It's like he's not exactly going to be like, "Oh yeah, museum curator, nice and calm."
You
It's
mean
like, we're here. This is it.
the cult was
This is
real?
Disneyland. Yeah,
Wallace is more just like, well, I'm just confused. What you're telling me is that everything that ever has happened or will happen is here.
Oh, so maybe these smaller grains of sand are the things from the past that are of lesser consequence, or perhaps future grains that have yet to take shape.
And they're just haphazardly spread out across the ground here.
How else would you recommend doing it?
I mean, it just seems like an irresponsible way for whatever cosmic entity designed this setup.
Well, why
to
don't you
just
start
drop motographs?
organizing the desert? I'll give you a shovel and a broom. You can become a Time Lord. That reminds me.
I don't have a lot of.
They're from.
I don't have a lot of ambition, but that'd be something. Wait, do we age here? Is there a seed?
Feeling older.
Is there a granule that's showing us, doing us, looking at granules?
We
Of
would
a granule,
have
looking at a
to
granule.
Think, brain. Ah, yes. The
Mike's head hurts.
chronoscape.
Wallace's head hurts.
Somewhere on this plane is a city. Unlike any city you could even imagine. If research has any bit of accuracy to it, there are districts within the city that exist at different rates of time.
I'm sorry, what? Different rate?
Yes, so in some places time is faster, in some places time is slower. And
That's a thing?
the Chronos heart, yes. It's a magnificent clock tower in the middle of the entire Chronoscape city that regulates time across the plane. Oh my, we so much to do.
Wait, you have like a checklist?
Yes, it's called Years of Study in the University that I'm going through in seconds at a time. Give me a moment. Buffering.
Buffer. Wait,
I love the concept that
his
Bartholomew
shoes?
does say buffering.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, his shoes look fine. Like, what? I don't.
Right.
That...
Oh, there's
okay,
also
why do I smell pine wood now, but there's no pine trees. What? I don't. There was beeswax a minute ago.
River of Years, if memory serves. Yes.
Who came up with these names?
Jobber
All right,
Rorden.
Well, you're clearly the person that seems to actually understand how this.
No, understand is not the right word. I have attempted to glimpse from afar, from the confines of the material plane, relegated to 2 dimensions of space, 3 dimensions with the whole book, and a 4th dimension of time passing in a linear sense. We're in a we exist now in a way that time as you know it is not really relevant, or it's but one spectral band on an enormous spectrum of experience.
What I heard you say was that you didn't know anything until you got here, and because we're all here now, we all know as much as you do.
No, I knew it all before, but I haven't thought about this in years. There's been the old gambling affliction that we don't like to talk about, and the disgrace at the university, and living out in the woods, and then coming across you lot, and always getting called by my wrong name.
Jeff's
hurts.
character is realizing that like everything they taught in Scientology is somehow real.
Basically.
So they're gonna want to ask you back for the graduation, is what I'm hearing. Like, you're
if you guys ever
like, look what he accomplished. She actually
trip,
been to whatever.
It's like having your first DMT trip after people have described it to you, and you're like, oh, it is like that.
Both Wallace and Mike stare confused. Like, all right, whatever you say. Is that portal open still, by the way? The light, or is that gone?
So nice of you to notice. It has faded to almost nothing and is about to blink out of existence.
We probably should have gone back through that given the chance, since we have absolutely no idea what to do around here. How do you navigate around here?
No, why would we do that? We're here. This is everything.
Looks like a lot of
I take
glass?
a small handful of the sand, knowing that I can't resist a little bit of chaos, and I try to throw it back through the portal to the other side.
As you're bending down to pick it up is when the portal dissipates.
Oh. That would have been fun to create a weird time loop.
Yeah,
I'm already a weird time loop.
Yeah, what are you talking
about?
Another one, Inception loop.
So, I don't know yet. I don't know about you, but Sparkles and I have already been kind of doing this whole weird time loop thing.
True.
And now that
that's true. Bartholomew has no
Mhm.
concept of time travel yet.
So I understand it in the abstract, but not the intuitive.
You haven't lived Springstone.
Mind-altering. Yeah. The first JPEG underneath temporal plane. Would I have ever seen that? In my studies?
That would have been akin to like a flat Earth hand pencil drawing, mythological map in some textbook as a theory. That would be about the most you have of it. Nothing to navigate by, but conceptually.
Okay. Well,
Stewie, just one
there's
more
so much to
important
do.
question, because based on our time traveling instances, there's always something that wants to eat us. So is there anything around here that would want to eat us? Just curious. For my sake of like, do I actually need to like keep my guard up and stay near you two to make sure we don't die? Kind of a situation.
I'm a time wizard, not an interplanar species guide.
It's same thing. Whatever.
No. How is your intelligence score so high? You come to these conclusions.
So what you're saying is you have no idea.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. It's okay to admit. It's okay to admit when you don't know something. We asked it somewhere that's entirely. I don't know. Do we have to be careful?
Try saying that to any other academic. See what if they answer differently. I'll wait.
I mean, I would ask one, but there aren't any around here because I don't know where he is.
I sarcastically look at my my pocket watch of power, which I'm still very. I don't know, almost alarmed by its. No, it's.
Did your toy break?
Toy.
Trinket?
Yes, that's
Trinket?
saved your life.
Did it?
I don't know
how that thing works.
I guess point of order. The change in its nature is probably imperceptible to Wallace and Jin.
Oh, never mind.
Like I said, it's akin to if you have your phone in your pocket every day and then someday you pull it out of your pocket and it's swollen a little. Like unless you
little.
Yeah, unless you're.
No, it's not like, I wouldn't know any better.
You wouldn't know any better.
Scratch that.
Okay,
So wait, do we have to be careful when we step?
If it was
like, can I not?
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes
what happens
solid,
if we?
Sometimes fluid.
Wait, so do we have to be? What happens if we break one of those bigger ones?
That could be someone's dream. Why would you do that?
Wait, like an actual dream? Like I have.
Or their actual existence. I mean,
it's not just a recording or like some sort of like picture. It's the actual thing.
In some sense, yes. Why would you want to destroy it? Do you see other bald-headed investigators here on the temporal plane smashing all these vignettes of existence to pieces?
Just seems extraordinarily irresponsible to just leave it around. But I guess if there's nothing here that could break it normally,
and destroying it is not more irresponsible.
Fair.
Bartholomew brings up a fair point.
They're like, it's fair. Just trying to understand the rules.
What are the rules? What are the rules?
There are no rules. We can.
Well, don't break the beads. That's a rule. Gravity exists. Magic works. I've been in places where it doesn't.
Wallace, what if you were to destroy the bead that was the moment most responsible for your parents procreating
and
creating
the actual
you?
memory, then I get it. And I didn't realize that.
No, you're not understanding. This is not a memory. This is not the figments of the subjective imagination. This is that reality. So let's not.
And right now we exist outside of it.
Let's not invoke the grandfather paradox so soon while we're here. The grandfather paradox.
Linked.
So if you went back in time and killed your grandfather, would you still exist in that moment, or would you cease to exist when you went back to the time you came from, or would that alter history so you could never go back?
I mean, doesn't that
matter of debate at the university?
I mean, there's that whole concept of like alternate realities too, yeah? Isn't that a thing? And we're standing in one, so wouldn't that imply that there are alternate timelines?
Yes, and perhaps all these unfurnished grains are the realities that have not yet materialized. And there's
that's a lot of realities.
Infinite space, pun intended, in the temporal plane for them to take shape.
No, now I smell a sewer. Just
Every
you haven't washed in quite some time, so.
Yeah, but there were I thought I smelled your stew a second ago. This place is confusing.
Mike leaning into the every flavor
relies on a very specific concoction of herbs and mushrooms from that part of the forest.
I mean,
so
it wasn't quite that one. It was a stew.
But you said your stew.
That was close. I mean, it's weird smells. That's all I'm saying.
I know an orc that lives in Wallace's dreams who would beg to disagree.
We need to be careful not to break that one specific bead. That is the entirety of Icanus. All right, well, standing here is not doing us any good. We need to find at least food. Yeah, at a bare minimum.
I'm overwhelmed.
Wait, do we get hungry here? Am I hungry? I'm smelling food.
I'm gonna slump down to my knees.
Make a Constitution saving throw, Mike.
I could go for a good berry.
Oh, jeez.
You're not hungry, but you could eat.
See, now these weird smells are making me want to get some food. So let's. Oh, they better have some good. I mean, if you can. Wait. If you don't have to worry about like cooking times, does that mean the cooking's better or worse?
I'm traveling with.
I got so many food questions now.
Such pedestrians. They're here on the temporal plane, and they can only think about roast mutton.
So Jeff,
hey, have you time traveled?
I whispered to you in game, Jeff. Yeah, you should read that.
I time travel every night when I dream. Thank you very much. But
it's not. That's not thousands of years in the future, though. Sparkles and I got actual time travel experience under our belt.
That brings me back to something you just said. If you had time traveled, why would you want to never mind.
I didn't know that it was actual things that they couldn't. Just thought it was like recordings. Didn't know, or memories. You said it was dreams. Dreams aren't real, or maybe they are now. I have questions. But anyway, food. Let's go find food.
Real. They're real, just not in the physical sense, because the physical is but one slice.
Real to me, damn it.
Oh, Jim, do you mind turning off the area of effects?
Oh yeah, that's just on your tokens. I can fix that.
So again, no bones, just sand. What about rocks and dead branches, dead trees?
Yeah. These are stolen maps, so
no sand.
It's sand. So what is there are like these things occasionally, the cliff, and then sand.
I can still hear you.
I will take I'll take a glance around to see if there's anything like possibly watching us from atop the cliff.
Make a perception check. You don't notice anything looking at you from atop of the cliff.
Is there anything flying around?
Make another perception check.
That's fair.
You don't notice anything flying around.
I will. Actually, yeah. Because because Wallace is genuinely curious. I put my ear to the glass. Like I literally lie down and put my ear to the glass and try to see if I can sense any movement. I'm used to giant creatures trying to eat us.
Make an investigation check.
He wants to know if someone's plucking a bass string under the Jeep.
Yes. Exactly.
You don't. Everything seems calm and still.
Okay.
Also, I'm still here. I'm just making food in the kitchen, but I have
Sure.
total audio.
Now it just smells like lilies. Okay. Sparkles, you got any thoughts on this? You've been quiet.
He went.
I didn't realize that walked away.
He took a potty break.
Ah.
Jeff, when you're back to your computer, you should read the whisper in Roll20.
Okay. If Bartholomew, if Leganor was still here amongst us instead of Bartholomew, and somehow Leganor knew what this was, this is when Leganor would say to Jin, "Hey, buddy, one of these grains of sand is gonna have the memory shard of that underground adult social club that we declared." We should probably find that and never tell anyone about it.
I didn't hide it.
Maybe I'll just keep that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't kink shame your friends.
I'm not.
Is there anything about the Eurolobins that would help? That would have shined any insight into this area, space, world, plane, whatever?
Make a advantaged history check. you don't recall anything in Frosty's writings that mention anything about a temporal plane.
Okay.
Welcome back, Zach.
I've been
Remember,
here.
Jeff's cooking, but he's here audibly.
I'm here.
Roger.
I'm back in.
Yep, I actually went to just get salt for my my dinner.
Boggles, you got any thoughts on
Repeat
all
that.
this?
Repeat that. Missed that. Sorry.
You got any thoughts on all this?
Man, I don't. Can I hit it with a fireball?
I mean, apparently you shouldn't around here. Wait,
Wonder what would happen.
actually, what would happen if we tried to melt the glass? I'm kind of scared to do it though, because apparently we would destroy reality, and I don't want that on my conscience.
Please don't.
Perhaps I throw a
Wait,
fireball
can we not
over
cast
here?
fireballs now? Like, because this,
You can cast whatever you want. I'm not gonna lie to you. Please don't do it.
but like, we don't want to destroy. Like, in defense of ourselves, I don't want to destroy entire realities. Like, that's not okay. There's some serious moral quandaries we've stepped onto here, quite literally.
Quite a bit of
Yes.
power we may have here.
But indiscriminate, blind power, chaos in its purest form.
That's kind of power.
We're
The
gonna make.
destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're responsible peoples. We only had to kill the time janitor, whatever, because we wanted to get out of this mess, and now we're further into this mess.
Please don't destroy the time shards. I would be more distraught than words could even describe.
So where to, oh master academic person of time
That's
or whatever?
very kind of you, but I am no such thing.
I mean, you know more than anybody else here, so that makes you the expert.
So as you come around the corner of the little rocky alcove you were in, you get a better sense that this is actually just a small little rocky plateau in an otherwise much larger and more vast and expansive and seemingly endless desert.
The endless numbers of reality suddenly makes more sense.
And this
Wait,
is
so
where
they
the
were just
campaign
always...
just ends. We endlessly wander a desert.
So wait, are the sands, have the glass thingies always been here? Or are they like, I don't know, is this some like sand time spring thing? Anyway. Alright. Well. Which way? I'm guessing down is not an option.
We could always follow the flow of the sand, like you say, downward. And
Actually,
follow gravity.
so I start like I actually like stop and start digging into the glass to try to like see how far down I can go and see if I hit rock or if it's just glass for, I don't know, like 3 feet at least.
For 3 feet? At least 3 feet.
Yeah. Of just glass?
Yeah.
It just keeps going?
Yep. You're just like you're digging in the beach and you just keep going down and it's just more sand. It's more sand. It's not wet.
More sand.
It's not wet like the beach.
Right.
It's like, you're in Mauritania.
And I mean, is this like solid glass or like actual rock?
It's actual rock.
Like obsidian?
Yeah, it's like a shimmery crystalline violet rock. It's the same material these little stalagmites are made from that are occasionally jut out of the ground.
Would it be anything like quartz?
It's not so crystalline. It's more igneous, I guess, in its form. Quartz is like an ordered crystal that has facets. This is more amorphous.
All right, Stewie. So, normally I'm used to thinking of the concept of like north, south, east, and west. I don't know if that works here. If there's some way to orient us, so we have
How high
where
is
we're
this
headed.
cliff here?
It's only about 10
10
feet.
feet.
The further you get away from it, the more you can see over it and see that it's more just
You
like
can either make for the high ground and
a
see
small
what we
plateau.
see, or we can follow the flow of the sands of time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Bart. Let's get as high as we can go and see if there's someplace we can see.
All right. Wallace looks for a climbing spot or a place with good handholds.
Yeah, like I said, it's more igneous, it's porous, it's amorphous, it's irregular. There's ways to climb. You can climb using rules as written climbing speed.
Wallace climbs.
Wallace climbs.
Yeah.
Have silk rope. I don't suppose that helps as much on the way up without pythons.
He gets up a ledge. It's only about 10 feet, and then it's flat again.
It's safe here, and by safe I mean we're not going to accidentally step on a world and kill it. There's no glass. I'm guessing I can't. You guys need help getting up, or
I'd throw him the silk rope because I guess my strength's 10. It's not terrible, but
no. Well, there's nothing really to tie it up to here, but sure, I'm heavy.
Or you could hold it and lean back.
Wallace ties a bowline around his waist and leans back.
All right. Roll a survival check.
Da-da-da.
You tie a bowline around your waist and lean back as an anchor.
Come on up.
Do we have to roll anything, or do we just climb at this point?
You can just climb with your climbing speed. It's not difficult and it's not high.
Okay.
Like I said, no glass.
Ooh, you know what I do? I climb back down and I pick like 3 or 4 of the most interesting large beads I can find and pocket them.
Define most interesting.
Mm,
Probably just the first 4 you can find. It takes a while.
yeah, probably I would say, like the father-son fishing I would find interesting. It doesn't have to be
there's
like...
no way you found that again.
No, I know that.
Okay.
But like...
You're like 40 feet away and...
not some guy watching TV, but... Or tending a fire.
That would
but,
be weird.
Like, yeah. But more like people interacting.
So,
a father-son...
So as you go like hunting for specific images, right? You first encounter what appears to be it's all like point of view what you're seeing. So you see hands on a desk with a quill writing something in a language you don't understand. Then you see someone running through a dense forest at great speed.
A furbog sleeping in an undersized bed.
Then you see a what appears to be very tall human like standing above you, looking down, smiling with his hand outstretched, and your small hand is reaching out to it.
That one. I want that one.
Okay.
And the fearful running one.
Okay. Then you see a bowl, like a stone bowl-shaped apparatus filled with a gooey brown wet substance, and the image is like face first into it, and you hear, you don't hear anything, but it looks perhaps like it's being eaten out of.
No, you know what? I'll also take the one with the writing on it, because that can date and place, and then just like one more random one of 2 people interacting, like having a conversation.
You see several goblins casting lots in a grassy field encampment.
All right. Are they talking?
You can't hear anything. These are all just...
Can I see their mouths moving?
Yeah. but you have no idea what they're saying.
That's fine. I'll take that one.
Okay.
Okay. Reaching.
Do I see him taking these?
I don't know. Are you walking up and talking to Wallace, or are you turning around and looking behind you?
Well, I mean, I had said I climbed up, but I assume that while he's looking on the ground, we're probably looking back down, like, what's happening? What's up, buddy?
Oh yeah, totally fair. You're seeing him rifle through the sand looking for large beads.
Jin, you know, they are curious, but maybe there's a reason why they're all here and not separated.
Oh, yeah, that might be the case. That might be the case, and I drop them into my pocket.
Those poor unnamed.
Hey, who knows?
Beings.
Might be interesting to us later.
All right. So you
sincerely hope you're not asked to put them back at some point.
You're up. You're up roughly 10 feet above the level of the rest of the sand. As you look further on this map north, there's another little cliff ahead of you, about the same height. As you look south or east from the perspective of this map, you see again the sands expand off to, as far as you can see, in both directions. As you look to the west, there is yet another small cliff face that could be climbed up from.
So, point of order: how are we defining these cardinal directions if there's no?
I'm saying in respect to the map you're looking at.
Okay.
So I'm just calling north up from this map's perspective, just so that I can communicate direction to you, the players. Wallace climbs up the second cliff face and is now roughly 20 feet above. And then does what?
Looks north.
So from this cliff face, looking what we're calling north, it's only 30 or feet so until it drops back down again. But from this height and not having anything to restrict your vision, what Wallace can see way off to the horizon is a pillar of bluish, purplish, whitish, streaming light, straight as an arrow, straight up into the atmosphere, or whatever you would call it.
The MCP.
I found a thing.
Additionally, much more localized, though still off in the distance, you see the same sort of sparkly, twinkly properties of the glass beads, but there's another column of that is shimmery off in the distance.
Like a column of beads?
A column of the shimmery, twinkly image that, like, when you look to the right and you look over the expanse of the sand, the glow, the purpley glow in the air that is lighting your plane, it shimmers off of the sand as if, because they're glass, right? They're shiny.
Okay.
As you scan the horizon, in a couple of points off to the north, you see vertical columns of that same shimmery view way off in the distance.
Okay.
Are you still playing?
All right. Can I see over to our quote-unquote west?
Over from here to the quote-unquote west is yet another similar little plateau that you're on that is, again, 20 to 30 feet across and 15 to 25 feet, north, south.
So I'm still not on the highest point of this crop.
No, you are on the highest point of this small little plateau system that you find yourself in.
Okay.
And
is this?
That's another. So there's like picture. There's like a.
I'm trying to see the horizon off in the west direction. Do I see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And way off in the west direction, you see. Again, sand, but way off you see the terrain rises to what appears to be a mountain range.
Okay. Boys, I think we should go that way. Pointing toward the pillar of light. There's
As good a
actual
guess as
thing
any.
besides endless desert or mountain range off in that direction. And I'll proceed to start.
Can you put us where Mike is? Because I don't see his token.
Oh yes. If you guys climbed up the second layer, so to speak.
Wherever Mike climbed up. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So which way is he pointing?
Okay, so from the perspective of this map, to the east is sand till the horizon. To the north is sand to the horizon, but at the horizon, as far as you can see, there is this glowy, bright, iridescent, vertical pillar of light way, way, way far away that seems to be creating this violet hue to everything. Additionally, to the north, and is a series, though unconnected to each other, of vertical columns of the same sparkly shimmer that is given off when you look across the vast ocean of sand, but in the air in this column of twinkle. To the west, you see sand until the horizon seems to be a mountain range, and to the south, you see sand and faint glow of yellow, which breaks up the purple skyline that you've seen. That you couldn't see until you've gained this much elevation.
Well, yeah, the pillar of light.
So, yes, I agree. The pillar of light, but humor me for a moment, Jim. I'd like to attempt to use minor illusion to recreate the JPEG in the Google Doc from memory. That's more or less like the rough, flat, two-dimensional sketch.
Okay.
But I'd like to see if I can use minor illusion to basically holograph project what I remember about it.
Sure.
So we can try to get our bearings.
So Bartholomew says, "A moment, gentlemen," and he prestidigitates this image. And the image that
he said humor him, and Wallace is currently trying to think of dad jokes and why did the chicken cross the road?
Not prestidigitate. He minor
But you would be more likely to think of humor as the humors rather than haha comedy.
I will think how I'm going to think. Thanks.
So
he's prestidigitating.
He minor illusions this into your view.
Oh. Alright.
Oh.
And let's I want to say triangulate, but that's not the right word. Let's see if we can figure out where we are as I focus on this image.
I mean, I'm guessing we're based on yellow to the south, mountains to the west, and endless to the east, so we're somewhere around like here. Or, I mean, the problem is I got no sense of scale.
We could be here, perhaps.
And there's no water.
Hmm.
Tells me we're probably either
water.
I don't know. I mean, we're on this like purple shimmeriness, so we may be in the middle of all this actually, because he said yellow shimmy that direction, so maybe that's this edge. So we're probably like maybe here, and then our north is actually left. Wait, no, that doesn't work. Yeah, maybe here. I'm not sure what the yellow is. But yeah, since there's like bits of shimmeriness off the north, I'm guessing we're somewhere in the middle of all this nonsense. And maybe the yellow's the edge of this. Didn't you say there's like a bunch of cities?
One city with many districts, each of which experience time.
And that's different than the. Would that be the tower, or was that something else?
I think so.
And, all right. Is there a fancy way to get around?
Oh, actually, no. If memory serves, that beacon of light. What does the sky look like above that beacon of light, Jim?
The purple haze, yeah.
So I know why you're asking this, Jeff. The JPEG in the Google Doc is a ChatGPT render. So in reality, it's more like what you're seeing in Roll20.
Okay. Just because they're separate things, and it doesn't necessarily. I mean, to get answers, I would assume we'd want to head to the Chronoscape, the city where we can talk and learn and talk and learn and TikTok. Aha! There's your humor, Wallace.
TikTok, I love it.
You humored yourself. Very nice.
Yes.
I'm definitely using.
But this
it.
image doesn't have a city on it. It has a giant pillar tower.
Write that down. In fact, I'll write it down. I just don't know if the city would be there or. I mean, I'm looking at this. Where would they build a city?
Some other map you got going on? Could it be on the underside of all this?
Under like subterranean?
I mean, if that word even makes sense in this context.
I wish I had the answer.
Well, either way, it looks like we're walking toward the big pillar of light, and Wallace starts climbing down.
I mean, there's nothing else in that.
I mean, your image is a little disconcerting because there's not exactly anything alive around here, which makes me wonder if they're going to be able to find food, but I digress. Now I smell chickens.
Yes, I think we should head that way. Wait, do you smell cooked chicken or chickens?
No, like a hen, like a farm.
They smell terrible.
I didn't say it was pleasant. And now I smell wet dog.
Why is it that your olfactory never conjures up anything pleasant? Like apple pie or a crisp mug of ale.
All of which
I haven't come across apple pie.
So it's not that like you're getting different whiffs of different scents. All scents exist simultaneously. You can pick out any scent you're looking for.
So as soon as you say apple pie, I'm like,
yeah, you're like, oh, there it is.
Hey, right, there is apple pie.
Oh, we could have fun with this. Same
old pleasant foods. Wait, no, stop. I'm already hungry enough as it is. Oh, now I smell a horse because now they like to go faster.
I was gonna say, what smell would make you not hungry, but I don't think rubbing alcohol is a smell that we would know in this world.
I mean, we'd know the smell of alcohol, strong alcohol.
Yeah, you would know the smell of like ethanol, which is essentially the same as rubbing alcohol scent wise.
Right. So do all your time magics have some way to get us across this vast desert any faster? Actually, Sparkles, can't you turn into an animal?
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
be right here.
You see, we do not wield time. We are embraced by its flow as it approaches us.
Yeah.
I need to rest first.
Rules, whatever. Let's rest so that Sparkles can turn into a giant bird or whatever, and we can get over to that tower pretty quick.
That's a plan. How far away would you say that it is?
I mean, we really don't have any sense of distance at this point, so
that's
true.
Question
it's possible to tell.
Does not compute.
Probably like 17 millennia.
Yeah. It's like the Kessel Run. You don't measure it.
Yeah, right.
You don't. Yeah.
We're dealing in.
You don't measure it in time.
14 questions away. Like what?
Yeah, right. So I heard.
I heard
a fun theory about the Kessel Run being measured in parsecs, in that it is in fact a measurement of distance, but it's that Han Solo was able to take a more dangerous route through it, or the
Oh
the
yeah,
ship
no, I think
rather.
that's how they've
because you're in
justified it now,
proximity
because-
to a black hole, so the shorter your route in parsecs, the closer you are to the event horizon. And he was the daredevil that's like, I can do it
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
in a more dangerous way than anyone.
Yeah, I can do it. I can save time and go a more distant,
Yeah.
dangerous route.
But
I think that is actually what the.
I don't like that they retconned it, because they're like, this is a thing nerds cry about, so we're gonna make it canon. Oh, hang on, I need a second. Hopefully I haven't missed it. I'll be right back. Duty calls.
So now should we sleep on the sand? Do we sleep on the rocks? Is it inappropriate to like snore into somebody's universe or whatever?
I mean,
I'd
it's
be
almost
more
like
about
this is the
having-
inside of a weighted blanket. It might be very comfortable.
Yeah, but don't you feel a little odd, like using somebody's dreams or whatever as your pillow? That feels weird
As
to
you
me.
say that, I snuggle up and start to I curl up and start to pass out. Nope.
Just like nuzzle yourself into the glass bees, and just.
I'm looking around
well,
trying to find like a pleasant one,
Point of
throw it in my head.
order. Point of order, and I rouse him awake before he can fall asleep.
Yes.
Oh, chat. Hold on. Hell yeah! Forgot that was a thing. I don't know how you make time into a hut, but I'll take it.
I suppose the same way that crime lords on desert planets are almost defunct piece of chains. Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay.
It was a dome. Okay.
I'm back. Sorry about that. What did I miss?
We're climbing into a tiny hut that's not a hut. It's actually a magical dome.
You're tiny hutting. Okay.
I still wish we could retcon it to be that magic tent from 20-something years ago.
Where are you tiny hutting?
Here in an elevated position.
Actually, sure. Where we are now. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What's that glow?
That was again, stolen map. But that was
the portal that is now gone.
Yeah, that was the white that you entered from that is now not there.
Well, as much as I don't enjoy sleeping on the city rock or whatever's, it's not the worst place I've ever slept in. As far as I can tell, nothing's going to try to eat us while we sleep, so. Sorry for the snow on, boys, but you've been with me long enough. You're probably used to it by now.
Okay.
There's no floor to this dome, is there?
Nope.
10-foot radius dome.
Around? Well, it says around and above.
So not below.
Yeah,
that is accurate.
Around you and above you. So the floor is the floor.
All right.
There's no giant worms.
Walk without rhythm.
So you guys.
You tell me, time plane person, do there worms that eat people's memories?
Sure, probably. There's probably everything you can imagine here in these beads.
Well, no, what I mean, but it's not. Never mind. Sleep.
Everybody long resting?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I assume.
I also.
Mike doesn't speak for everybody.
will ritually cast with my final spell slot. Oh wait, it doesn't take that.
20-foot cube alarm.
20-foot cube alarm.
It's going to be a mental alarm. Let's see.
20-foot cube is 20 by 20, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
20 by 20 by 20.
20 by 20 by 20, yeah. Actually, how's that BG3 down?
Okay, yeah, it's a mental alarm.
It's still going, damn.
Got it. Okay, you guys are in a tiny hut, and you're alarmed, and everybody hears tweet tweet. and you guys all go to sleep. I assume Jin hasn't said he's going to sleep, but I'm assuming he's also.
Oh no, I did. When you walked away, I immediately curled up on the sand until
cool.
he created the hut.
Okay. Give me a second.
Time somehow passes in a place not outside of time. That's a lot of d20s. All right. Wallace is curious if he's sleeping and he dreams, does a little bead of glass just pop out of his ear?
That 20 concerns me.
Time passes, as far as you know.
And I click the long rest button.
Let's see. Bartholomew, you awaken first, not triggered by any alarm. And everything looks exactly the same. The horizon color hasn't changed. The hue of the sky hasn't changed. Nothing seems to have shifted visually in any way, shape, or form, but you do feel well rested and restored. You can click the long rest button.
Yay!
But it's unnerving that, like, your entire life you've slept at dusk, and you know that you will awaken.
Something happens.
You'll awaken either in the middle of the night or at noon. You know, when you fall asleep at twilight, you're going to either wake up at noon or nighttime, and it's still twilight.
Like, I feel rested, but
nothing has happened.
Nothing's changed. Like, yeah, that's definitely would be just like, that's mildly unsettling, but all right. Is anybody else awake?
Waiting to see what Bartholomew does as being the first awoken.
Reviews his information.
I'm just gonna sit up and enjoy the serenity of this.
Being here.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'll pluck larger nodules that are inside the dome where we are, within arm's reach, and just kind of.
There aren't any.
There's no sand
on the rock.
Yeah, you're up on the. You're up on the rock. There's no sand.
There's no breeze or anything like that?
You haven't felt any wind since you've been here.
My companions are not awake yet?
Not at the moment, no.
Well, I will. I don't know. I'll just kind of stretch out and look up and just kind of time dream. I would say daydream, but.
Okay. Bartholomew lets himself get lost in thought, and Wallace awakens. Feeling refreshed, but not noticing anything different in the horizon.
Wait, we did sleep, right?
You feel like you slept.
Am I more hungry?
You are as hungry as you would expect after a night's rest from a long day the prior.
Okay. I'm gonna need one of those berries, aren't I? I miss Flosty's cabinet of just endless food. All right.
Wait a minute. I can make us some food.
You're still asleep, but.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, I'll get up Wallace does a few morning stretches. He's older, after all. I've had some time pass through me, let alone passing through time, as I recall.
Did one of you age at all during the Time Lord fight, or did that not happen to anybody?
I thought you aged me like 3 years at one point.
Oh, okay.
That happened previously.
Not the big Time Lord fight, but like one of
the little
earlier
timekeepers.
Ones. Yeah.
They had
like you aged me, I think, like 3 or 4 years.
They have like a minor version of that same ability.
Right. So yeah, I'll stretch, don on my gear, wait like 5 more minutes for Sparkles, and then nudge him.
Sparkles, you are nudged awake.
Oh, it's morning? Is it morning, or did we just fall asleep? What's going on?
Yeah, you
feel rested. No,
you feel fully rested. You just don't see anything different.
It's just time to go, I guess.
How much time passed?
Yes.
Wallace shrugs. I don't think that's a thing here, which is weird because I'm definitely hungrier than I was yesterday, so I don't know how that works.
I'm hungry too. You guys
the
want
rules
some food?
here are weird. Yes, please.
And I do the create food and water spell with using the staff.
Aha. So...
I forgot you could do that.
You attempt to tap into the Staff of Euralia to leverage the Eurolabin prayer dance magic sealed within. And you do a great dance with it. But it appears inert.
Well, that sucks. I was hungry.
So,
man.
So you're all really hungry, and Jin's like, I got this. And he's like,
I got this.
Would we still have rations if they're in our inventory?
I mean, I would assume with all the traveling we did, we burned through most of them.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, if you weren't tracking your rations during our trip, one would assume that you've consumed at least most of them.
I guess maybe I could create an insect plague of caterpillars and we could eat them.
Wait, has nobody got... Maybe I'm getting my campaigns mixed up. Does nobody got Goodberry?
There's no druid in this party.
No, we lost the druid.
Oh, we lost the druid! Crap! Oh, this is a problem.
At his mention, I'm like, you got good berries?
Oh, we did. That's right, yes.
Oh.
And the party realizes where there hasn't been any combat.
Like, oh. Well, that's going to be a problem.
Ooh, actually, I have one good berry from Rail in my pocket.
Which you then immediately consume,
Which
I'm
is
sure.
now the most precious possession you own.
Can I split a good berry?
I don't think you can. Rules is written.
No, I don't think so.
You could, but since neither of you are consuming the whole good berry, it would just be a waste for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 0 rations.
Well, I think we have a sudden sense of urgency to get to that tower so we don't, starve to death. Since there's clearly nothing to eat around here. Well, guessing you can't eat the sands.
Not recommended.
Yeah, no, probably.
You can eat anything if you're hungry enough.
Yeah. Leather in my boots, if it comes down to it. Alright, well. Sparkles, if you could fly us out of here.
Yep, I guess we're going to do that. Now, another option. I do have the possibility to dimension door us as far as I could see. Now, that being said...
That seems... risky?
Yes, exactly.
But also, if, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Just a quick FYI, rules is written. Characters need a gallon of water a day.
That's a lot of water.
You guys are chit-chatting about food, but the far more pressing matter is hydration.
Water.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Then let's move.
Hold on. That image yesterday that you sent there, Stewie, there was water somewhere. Yeah?
It was.
Wallace proceeds to...
Where is that?
Climb back up. And tries to see if he can get it. I wonder if it's that yellow shimminess. May have been water? Because it said there was water down.
I closed out of that window. Where?
Do you mind bringing us back to that map, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Alright, so assuming this is water, and I mean, we looking south, there's like a yellow shimmery shim. That's all I see, right?
Yeah, looking from your position on this map, again, we don't know if north is north, but from the perspective of the original map you were on, the cave, whatever map, north of that map is where you see the big pillar of white. West of that map, you see a mountain range off in the distance. South of that map, you see sand, and then as the horizon, there's like a yellow glow, like a yellow-orange glow, separate from all the purple that's everywhere. And east of that map is sand as well. And like the four things that I mentioned are not like exact true due north, south, east, west, like perfect degree. It's in that general direction.
Okay. I guess I'm trying to get a sense of like. Actually, I can draw, can't I?
And also recall the prestidigitated or minor illusion version of what you're currently seeing on screen was an image that appeared like hand-drawn in a textbook, a la old pictures of the flat earth in current textbooks. It's like an artist's rendering, not a navigable map or a GPS satellite.
So I'm guessing that's roughly where we are, if not possibly where the N is. So unless you got some sense that this tower is going to have water there, Boggles, I reckon for the sake of, not starving to death that we go this way.
We head away from the tower first, get ourselves refreshed.
If this is water, then this is water. Well, wait, do we have any way to purify it if it's not drinkable?
I can light a fire if we have some fuel.
Oh, we can just boil. I mean, if this...
What if it's contaminated with salts or something? I mean, we don't have a distillery. I say we might want to make for whatever looks to be inhabited first. There's no footnotes in that sketch that I'm recalling from memory from decades ago about that being potable water or not.
So I have a water skin, Jim. Do you want to say how much I've got in there?
A water skin can hold up to 5 pints of liquid. Or 4 pints of liquid, excuse me. So even if full, it's a half gallon.
Okay. Doesn't really help us.
I have water skin as well.
Yeah, I mean you're not going to die of thirst this moment.
But it's certainly
you are going to be thirsty if you don't solve that
relatively
problem.
Quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess you're right, Stewie. If anything, civilization-ish will probably have water, as opposed to we have no idea what the water on it. I'm guessing none of your scholarly studies at the academy talked about surviving in the space?
I wish. It's. I mean, all we basically do is conjecture with a lot of fancy words and late nights over pints of ale. It's not exactly aware of the municipal
I appreciate the
services
honesty.
here.
Fair enough. All right. Well, what do you think, Sparkles?
I got some survival training back in the old army, so
Yep. Way.
Well, should we fly?
Let's fly. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to turn one of you into something small, and then I can carry the other one while they carry.
Well, no, Giant Eagle can carry 2 people.
And you can carry 2?
What?
I don't think we had it that way.
That's who?
Was that not what we were doing before?
No.
Okay.
No, he was wild shaping and you were polymorphing and you were each carrying one.
Oh, okay.
Can I polymorph?
A creature of size X
no,
can carry a creature of size X minus 1.
Okay. All right.
Well, then I cannot do this and move us both.
Well.
Oh wait, I have polymorph too.
Ah, that would help. If you can polymorph into something small, and I can fly.
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
So the plan is to what?
2 polymorphs, or you just both
One
polymorph
rider.
into something that, or just both polymorph into something that flies, and I'll pop on the back of Sparkles and
There
we
we
go.
Okay. Form of Giant Eagle.
Fastest thing you can get.
Okay. And you're heading where?
I believe we all decided on the tower.
Tower.
Yes.
You're heading in what you're calling north?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You're heading in the direction you're calling north on a giant eagle, whose speed we previously calculated at what?
I want to say it was somewhere around 30 miles an hour.
30. Yeah, it's almost like 30 or 40 miles an hour.
Rules as written, but again, eagles go a lot faster than that.
Well, then you dash the entire time, so you're actually going. Or was that included in the 30 to 40 miles per hour?
Like the fly speed matters for combat because it's like you don't want something that can go 200 feet and around.
Right.
For long distance open air, that might be a bit more DM fiat.
So, the Dungeon Master's Guide addresses this on page 119 under the section titled The Sky. Flying by spell or magic item works the same as travel on foot as described in the player's handbook. A creature that serves as a flying mount must... Here's some rules we haven't been doing. A creature that serves as a flying mount must rest 1 hour for every 3 hours it flies, and it can't fly for more than 9 hours a day. Thus, characters mounted on griffins, for example, which have a flying speed of 80 feet, can travel at 8 miles per hour, covering 72 miles over 9 hours, with 2 1-hour-long rests over the course of the day. Flying constructs are not subject to this limitation. So, as stated, mounted flying creatures can fly up to 9 hours a day, plus 2 intervening 1-hour rests. So I think we all flew way too fast in Mike's campaign.
I'm going to say that because they're not.
And honestly, I think that's probably rules as written intentionally so that people just don't fly over people's content. I think that's intended.
I'll go figure.
Like, because
all right, well,
while I appreciate and applaud creativity and creative use of game mechanics, at the end of the day, like, you're here to be an adventurer, not to Game of Thrones Season 7 fast travel from scene to scene.
All right, well, either way, as fast as we... I mean, we're also not... Like, a griffin mount is different than a polymorphed person who's trying to get as far as we can? I don't know.
I would assume it's the same. I would assume that that when you polymorph, you take on the physical characteristics of said beast. So you would operate physically as a giant eagle beast. Also, you're dehydrated. You're going to run into dehydration issues. So
yeah, that's fair.
That physical exertion is only going to exacerbate that.
So let's start moving and travel within the limitations of the eagle.
What's the highest you can CR as?
A polymorph?
Yeah.
I think it's challenge rating is equal or less than the target's level. So CR, whatever your level is. But I don't know if there exists a beast with a faster speed than 80.
Yeah, probably not. Quetzalcoatl, but
that's a dinosaur.
Which we don't have those.
You have seen dinosaurs, but you did not encounter a Quetzalcoatlus.
Okay. All right, that's all. Okay, we're flying as far as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just
toward the light.
So every 3 hours of flight, Jin is exhausted and has to, land.
Well, are they both flying? I don't know. What did
we were both flying?
Yeah, we have to, but I'm not carrying anyone.
Yeah, we're both flying.
So in theory, you could get away with one fewer.
Oh, stops because I can swap.
I don't know how that would work. If he carries you for an hour, if he carries you for 3 hours, he would still have to stop for a rest. But if he carried you for an hour and then you hopped onto him and he carried you for an hour, you could get...
Yeah, just swap back and forth.
You could get 6 hours before the rest, and then you'd both have to rest simultaneously. I guess, in theory, as the math checks out. It'd be like riding with 2 horses. You can just swap horses and get double the distance before you have to rest with the horses. So yeah, yes. I'll give you 1 fewer hours rest, which means another 9 miles traveled. So that gets you to 81 instead of 72.
Cool. We go 81 miles. Are we, out of curiosity, when we've gone, let's say, 30, does it look like we're actually getting any closer or traveling any distance?
Yes. Also, from this height, you can see a little bit more, of the shape of the terrain. Obviously, you can see further distance. So
right.
that white pillar appears to be emanating out from a swirling vortex of purpley, bluey, white light energies off in the distance. As you approach closer, that grows in your vision, obviously, and you are seemingly getting closer to it, although minimally. It is clear
see any other bodies of water?
It is clear that there. So from this high up, you don't see any bodies of water.
Okay.
You do notice the mountain ranges to the left and right. So to the right, where you didn't see mountains from this elevation, you do see mountains further away.
Okay.
And then to the down, that yellowish orange glow is just more prominent. It almost resembles... all of you make a history check. DC 15. 8 and 8. Well, no, not you, Bart. No, never mind.
Okay.
But yeah, you're making progress, and you're getting closer. You still have a ways to go. How would I be able to tell you your best estimate for how far away you are? Let's see how I do that appropriately. Well, so if that's there.
As we're flying, I say out loud to my 2 flying companions, "You guys got any additional spells that can make you fly faster?"
Ah!
It's like the fact that you're not stopping is a no.
After flying all day, so back up. Are you intending to fly all day?
I mean, if day is a thing, flying as long as we have to until you're tired.
As long as we can, yeah.
Flying the full 9 maximum hours of flight you can get out of it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd say yes.
What are you doing, Wallace, to pass the time while you can't talk to anybody because they're both birds?
I mean, I'd probably just muse out loud for a while. I'm like, I mean, okay, so we're in a plane of time. Apparently, there's an endless amount of time, beads, last thing, whatever. There's no weather. But we still get hungry. I really need to stop talking about that. Stop thinking, stop smelling food. Think of, focus on. I'm assuming I still smell everything from up here.
Good point. From up here, you don't have as strong a scent of the everything smell.
Okay. Everything that Stewie knows is from his memory. He doesn't have like a book that could reference, right?
That's correct. These are just
okay.
This is just lore that he knows as a member of the Continuum.
Okay. I mean, I have a scroll of Sturge's notes and a book of your Robin lore. I mean, I think I've gone through them enough that I would know if there's anything in there that would have given me any hints as to how this place works, but I'll go back through them again just to be sure.
Yeah, from your previous history check and your current checking, the Uralabans don't appear to have had any intertwining with the temporal plane, as it were.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm mostly just reviewing books. I'm musing out loud random thoughts, questions I have about how this place works, and why would things with time have nothing that's actually alive unless it's just a matter of, I don't know, beads. This place just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on, or it's a set amount of time, which means are we all destined by fate, even though right now we exist outside of time? How does that work with time travel? I wonder if our beads look really weird because they jumped times. This is any way to find them. Amusing myself with prestidigitation a bunch. Hopefully not. Actually, I suppose if I did it enough times, there would be a wild magic risk. But
it's every time you cast a spell, right? It's a D20.
Isn't
there like
no? Once per turn, the DM can have you roll a D20 immediately after you cast the sorcerer spell at first level or higher.
Prestidigitation's a cantrip, isn't it?
It's a cantrip.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only spells I have are absorb elements and featherfall.
Right. Yeah. Prestidigitate's not
so
wild magic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
And for my own entertainment, every once in a while, just randomly, I'll drop 10 or 20 feet.
Like turbulence.
Yeah, just for fun, just to scare Wallace a little bit, you know.
Oh, if the first time he does that, I'll get spooked. The second time he does that, I'll just cast Featherfall.
Okay.
and then you can fall backwards and have to swoop around.
Well, for the heck of it, when you cast Featherfall, roll a D20. Or whatever the wild magic is, D100, D20?
It's a D20.
Yeah, roll a D20. Whoa! A follow? There's people in our stream?
Hey, hello!
Frederick,
it's not the most exciting session we've had, but that's
hey,
fun.
Mate, I really enjoy your streams. You stream pretty cool and I love it. I'd love to be a part of your fan community. Could you add me on Discord? I'm not gonna add you, robot, to Discord. That's not.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that sounds a little.
I'm not gonna.
I really enjoy your community. I'm like,
robot.
no, you don't. Nice try.
What a troll! I was like, we got a follower, and he is just.
It's a bot.
Boo.
But first, I need you to select the picture that doesn't match.
I need you to click all the stairs, or the cars, or the what is it like? Fire hydrants.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So the 5 was not a
Not a 1.
wild match. Okay.
Wild magic goes off on a 1. Alright, well, yeah, so, I don't know, passing the time, just trying to see if I can make sense of what I'm looking at. Musing.
Okay, so when you're like in the last 20 minutes or so before everyone's gonna get too tired to be. What the hell? Why did? Oh, never mind. Forget what I said. Yeah, when you're like 20 minutes or so from the end of your travels, you start to get kind of closer to one of those shimmery columns, and you're now able to make out that it is these glass bead sand granules pouring down from seemingly nothingness, as if you're inside of, I don't know, a giant hourglass, as it were.
Wow.
Streaming down into the vast desert below.
So, wait. Alright, let's say this is just reality constantly being created and it's making all these beads or whatever in people's lives and memories and things are happening or whatever, that's fine. Is it really endless? I mean, that little drawing you guys had may not have actually demonstrated the fact that this goes on forever, but I'm wondering if there's like is there an end? Like, is there a place where this all falls off the plane of existence? Or maybe we're in a giant globe, but I can't see, stars or the ceiling of the sky or whatever, any sort of concept of the passage of time. It's really weird. I'm probably going to get real sick of my voice because I'm just going to start talking a lot to myself over time. Just wondering, musings. I mean, part of me wants to ask you guys to like fly through that, but I feel like that'd be dangerous, and the last thing we need to do is hit ourselves when we don't have actually food. Yeah, that just seems odd. Makes me wonder. Wait a minute. Can we find one of those beads that's got water in the memory, and then try to break it open and see if water comes out? Would that be, that'd be morally questionable, I suppose, because theoretically, I suppose having someone's entire existence sort of crack open outside of a glass bead would be not ideal in this context, and or destroy a person's life, which kind of begs the question: what happens to the whole time stream if one particular important person goes away and then you suddenly break it, and that just goes on and on and on and on.
After 20 minutes of Wallace's ravings of a madman, whoever he's currently riding on is so exhausted such that you feel the need to land and recuperate.
Oh, going down already?
Oh.
But we got so much better to go. I mean, well, all right. I guess I'm heavy. If only I could make myself lighter somehow, but sadly I can only do that for about a minute. So yeah, we bottom out.
Okay, you guys land. Oh, how long does polymorph last? Polymorph only lasts for an hour, so we need to retcon this a bit.
Oh.
It's only an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, it's wild shape that.
Wild shape just lasts. Polymorph lasts for an hour. So
we're missing the druid.
So you could have spell slots. You could have cast it multiple times, sure.
Yeah.
But how many level 4 spell slots do you have?
And level 5s and level 6.
Yes.
A total of 6. So that's 6 hours.
Okay. So that would be not 81 miles. That would be 6 times 8. So that'd be about 48 miles.
And now we have to long rest to get ourselves.
48 hours maximum flight per day. Everything I said about the sand is still accurate. It just happened to be a little closer than I originally stated. Kind of inconsequential.
That's fine. Well, all right. I mean, it is what it is.
Thirsty.
I
drink a rationed measured pour of what I have in my wineskin.
Yeah, I'm just like letting it touch my lips every like hour. Is it hot? Is it cold? You said it was cold.
It's not hot or cold. It just kind of is. Like it's, 68.
Got it. All right. Yeah, nothing about this character is designed to just. Well, all right. Maybe in the middle of a barren desert. Well, all right. Unless you boys got some of the clever trick up your sleeve with magic.
We're getting closer. Can we tell how many more trips it's going to take?
Well, so we only made it, what, 6 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and we're out of spell slots.
You could, in theory, walk on foot for some of that.
That's what I was about to suggest. Like, all right, well,
you can make some
magic.
distance.
Unless you guys got something to make us move faster on foot. That's not, wild shaven. I'm guessing that silence means no between the two of yous.
No, I mean, I no.
Alright, hoofing it. We'll walk for. Well, we flew for 6 hours, right? So you drove like a forced march for the next 8.
I have this, but that doesn't help all of us.
An hour.
And I can cast that 3 times if I've burned up everything for polymorph.
Well, it's not concentration, so you could create 3 steeds and have us move on a steed for an hour.
Hey, that's nice. I'll take a steed.
Suppose I could.
I could get you 10 miles closer in an hour.
13.
Yeah.
At a fast pace.
Oh, yeah, alright. Well, you can travel 10 miles in an hour or 13 miles at a fast pace. It's such a weirdly worded spell.
Yeah, why would you make that distinction?
Why wouldn't it
So
just
now
be
we are
13
on
miles?
Phantom Steeds.
Yeah, why would it just be 13 miles? I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, Bartholomew creates 3 Phantom Steeds.
Didn't seem to be anything else we gotta be worried about.
Do all of you have the ability to ride a horse?
I am proficient in animal handling, so yes. It's also a phantom illusion steed, so I mean,
and it's equipped with a saddle, bit, and bridle. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all. That all means the horse is rideable. Do you guys have the knowledge and ability to do that?
I mean, is that codified somewhere? Like
Wallace does.
I don't know. I feel like in a time like this, adventurers would.
I mean, if Wallace feels
required to ride a horse.
I could take 10 minutes to show them how to effectively ride on a steed, and then we hop on. And if anything, we only go 10 miles because they're not really trained to go fast.
Riding used to be its own skill.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I took animal handling. It just has never come up. Where is my character's bio? It's not in
Horse,
character sheet.
horse riding is a tool proficiency bundled into vehicles land.
Oh.
I mean, I took animal handling on purpose for the idea that I knew how to ride a horse. But that's how the rules work. I guess I would do the animal handling proficiency and turn it into tools of land.
Yeah. So the answer is it's just an animal handling check. Everyone has animal handling. It's just how good you are. So okay. The answer is yes. You all know how to ride a horse. I will have you roll animal handling. It's phantom. I'll let it go.
Okay.
It's not gonna try and throw you because it's magic.
And it's horse-like.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to imagine is like, does it just not have a snout? Like, is it just like flat face? Like,
well, it's
so
horse.
weird.
It's horse-like.
It's 6 legs.
It's horse-like insofar as Bartholomew can decide the creature's appearance. So it moves like a horse.
That's fair.
And it's ridden.
I mean, it
like
does say in the
horse.
spell description, for the duration you or a creature you choose can ride the steed. It doesn't say you're able to ride the steed if you already know how to ride it. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's fine.
So we go another 13 miles.
Another 13 miles.
And then that's 7 hours down, and then the next.
So they'll need. Well, it's 7 hours plus 2 hours of rest because you had to drop to rest every 3 hours, right?
No, we determined that we could go 6, so that was swapping back and forth. Yeah.
3. Yeah, carry one. After 5, you'd have to rest for an hour. Then the other one could carry the 6th, but then you're out of time. Technically, you can only go 5, right?
I thought you said 6 or 7.
I know, but that was when I thought you had 8 hours of full day of polymorph. Polymorph only lasts for an hour, right? So you polymorph, fly for an hour, the spell ends. Polymorph, fly for an hour, the spell ends. Polymorph, fly for an hour, the spell ends. So you only have 6 spell slots to polymorph. So that's really the limiting factor, is not the resting from exhaustion of being mounted, but the fact that you have to stop and land and recast the spell every hour.
Well, you tell us, how far do we go? How many hours have we been flying?
Yeah, so 6 in the air is correct because you're stopping to land. It's not, that takes care of the needing to rest. So 6 hours of flight plus an hour on a horse is 7 total hours of travel plus an hour.
So we walk another.
Plus an hour to rest from the carrying is 8.
You could rest on the horse, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that hour of travel is resting. So 7 hours of travel through which you've covered 61 miles.
And then we walk another 9 hours.
And then you walk another 9 hours at your land speed, which covers what?
27 miles. You're saying it's speed times speed divided by 10 is the amount of miles we're going to.
The following rules determine how far a character or monster can move in a minute, an hour, or a day. Travel pace. I hate diving into these rules sometimes.
You are the DM.
I know, but I like to know what it should be, and then I can decide if I want to change it. Travel pace. While traveling, a group of adventurers can move at a normal, fast, or slow pace, as shown in the travel pace table. Oh, there's a table. So at a normal pace, it's 24 miles a day. You can push it to 30, or slow it to 18 and be able to use stealth. That's the table. There's a table for travel.
All right. How far can we move in 9 hours?
So if it's 24 miles in a day, and that's 8 hours of travel is what they cover. The travel pace table assumes the characters travel for 8 hours in a day. They can push beyond that limit at the risk of exhaustion. So for every hour beyond 8 hours, you have to make a con save or take a level of exhaustion.
That's frustrating. Okay.
Yeah, travel rules. Again, none of this is intended to make travel suck. It's intended to make... It's intended to incentivize players not just running past content. Really, that's the whole point of the rule.
All right. Well, I guess it's up to you how far watch forward. Too tired to keep going.
So you could travel a full 8 hours. Them having flown, we could probably get another 4 hours normal travel before you'd start risking exhaustion from pushing any further.
Okay. So that's another...
So 4 hours and another 12 miles at normal pace.
Okay.
So 63, 61, 73 miles.
Hold on a sec. Specifically... This part here. So if your HP goes back to what it was...
HP has nothing to do with exhaustion and energy levels.
I understand that, but since it's not fully spelled out, does that mean we will still be physically exhausted from having magic and nerves and maybe back into our normal work, or we do a full days of travel after flying?
No. Yeah, no, that's just so, like, if you get killed as a bird, you don't die, you just go back to human form.
All right. Well, we get as far as we can. We rest. We repeat.
Okay, so you guys travel roughly 73 hours in a day, full tilt.
Miles.
I meant miles. Full tilt, no stops, using all your spells at your disposal. That's your maximum travel time. On the first day, you do that. You don't push yourself beyond exhaustion because I assume you realize that your resources are limited.
Yes.
So as you're setting up your whatever camp, I don't know if you have spell slots remaining for Tiny Hut and Alarm or what your plan is there.
I mean, why bother? Alarm, yes. Hut, no. I mean, there's nothing here to attack us outside of just lack of food. No, water. I mean, I don't know, take some fight us at this point so we can eat it.
Can I keep casting misstep and then wait my archer collecting drops?
This is all just actually say like mist.
Yeah.
Silvery mist. Doesn't say anything about water. Yes, it's silvery mist because it's mercury. It's atomized mercury. Particles so small that they still float in the air. Anyway, all right.
Wait a second. We can do something with that.
Again, I don't think anything implies that it's fog made from water.
I mean, you're conjuring it.
Right.
What else would you have?
It doesn't say it's not either. Doesn't say that it's not.
It's the DM determined to get some amount of water out of this cloud.
Cloud.
How much water is a 20-foot radius sphere of fog?
I'll do the math.
I'm sure we're not first person character to ask that question.
If you do the math, there's about 56,000 gallons of water in a cubic mile of fog.
What?
That says Google. So a 20 cubic foot of fog, by that math, should be about 10 gallons.
20 radius sphere is not 20 cubic feet.
That's true.
Or higher cubed? Volume of sphere? R being 20 in this case.
20-foot radius of the
Volume
volume
of sphere
half sphere.
33,510 cubic feet.
Cubic feet. Cubic feet in a mile. Mile. You said a mile cube.
The volume of the sphere radius of 20 feet is approximately 0.0000115 cubic miles.
Okay, so it's more than a mile water by 0.00155.
Are you literally reading the Reddit post, Jeff, or Jim?
I'm
The one about the tree golem?
No, how much water is in the fog cloud?
Yeah, read that post. The reason they're asking is their character is a tree golem, which requires 5 gallons every day to function normally, and their campaign's in a desert.
It said, well, okay, 20 cubic feet of fog would be approximately 10 gallons per this.
Well, that's 20 cubic feet, but it's not a 20-foot cube. Fog cloud is a.
Oh yeah.
How many
So we do the conversion.
how many gallons are in 1 cubic mile again?
56,000 gallons in a cubic mile of fog.
Which is 5,280 feet.
Times 0.00015. 8.4 gallons.
There you go.
So, assuming, which we haven't made.
Right, so now we have to somehow
harvest every
assuming, which we have not yet determined, that the spell is in fact a fog made from ethereal plane water vapor. Then that fog would contain about 8.5 gallons of that material. What you would do with it then, I don't know.
I mean, I could see. I mean, the fog doesn't move, so I could see myself like rigging up my bedroll tied to like with my water skin at the bottom, sort of like funneled in, and then I literally just walk through the fog, trying to catch as much of it as I can, so that everything that condenses against the bedroll would then theoretically go down into the water skin.
Jin, do you have anything that can make cold? I know you're all about the fire, but what about cold?
Or even my or my shield, even because the shield's metal, it's not going to absorb any of the water.
I can do that.
Oh, it's a cantrip too. Oh.
So yeah, I mean that's a good thought. If I can lower the temperature of really any large piece of metal, perhaps, we can cause significant condensation on it.
Well, we all have bedrolls, and we all have traveler's clothes. Does that include cloaks?
I have a shield. Actually, I think I have 2 shields. No, I just have the 1 shield.
Oh, speaking of cloak, I ordered my cloak for KRF.
Nice.
Traveler's clothes does not say what it comes with, so that might be DM fiat.
Sorry, I was reading posts. What are we trying to do now?
Use
Ray of Frost, and then using
through the fog cloud
articles to capture momentarily condensed, hopefully water crystals.
So, Ray of Frost is a beam of light that,
right? But the idea being that we would,
upon striking a target, deals cold damage. I would argue that that does not equate to a column of freezing air that would solidify mist into snow.
wait,
that's not what we were planning on
but
doing.
okay, hold on. Let's say he shot my shield. The shield is taking cold, thus reducing the temperature of the shield.
But it does say toward a creature within range. Jim has a good point.
All right, shoot me.
Well,
Yeah, a valid target would have to be a creature.
All right, shoot me. I'll put my shield in it as you hit me with it. Theoretically, like, it's ow, it hurts. It's also cold. It lowers the temperature. The cold damage has to lower the temperature, right? Theoretically, so you would then cold.
Let's check that out. Does
cold you would encolden the shield at least a little bit. Maybe you hit me like, I don't know, a couple times, and then I use the cold shield to move through the mist and again water into the wineskin.
I just don't. I don't know that it's lingering cold is the problem. That's my, like, even if it does do cold, yes, all right. So let's say you strike your shield, the shield is hit by cold damage, you take some cold damage, but because it's magic and not actually like liquid nitrogen, that the energies of the weave that created the cold effect are then magically dissipated back to the weave, and therefore the temperature returns to normal.
Fair enough.
Womp womp.
You know, over the course of the 6 seconds of your turn.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing.
I super appreciate all of this thought going into how to solve your water problem, and I don't I don't want to discourage it.
Is there? I'm trying to think.
There is every time to reward us.
I can electrify my sword with the push of a button.
Your sword is a futuristic device that was constructed.
Yeah. So it electrifies when I press the button. It's not really magic, right? It's more.
That's correct. That
like
is a
physical battery.
You're creating a stun gun in essence.
We can make electricity. Does that buy us anything?
And does Wallace know enough about electricity to mean?
I mean, that's fair.
For that information to mean anything to him.
Between the three of us, I'm like.
So anyway, the current state of things is going to be probably the end of the session.
Fair.
I will leave you, the party, with until we play again to suss out how you're going to solve your water problem, which will also give me time to suss out where that solution might exist.
Does anyone have a divining rod?
And with that, ladies and gentlemen on the internet, none of you plus the robot, you guys
Yay, bots!
A great evening, and we'll see you all in the next episode of Emrae, whenever that ends up being. Goodbye.
Because we very well will be playing Baldur's Gate next time.
It's very plausible. We'll still stream that. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Just fun for us. There'll be moments, I'm sure,